Imagine a city where black wealth was so powerful it terrified America. A place where black doctors ran hospitals, black bankers financed businesses, black lawyers defended their own people. Black children grew up surrounded by success, dignity, and opportunity. This wasn't a dream. This wasn't a movie. This was Black Wall Street. And in 1921, it was destroyed. But to understand why it was attacked, we must first understand how it rose.
This is a proud moment for us.
It looks delicious.
Everything came together perfectly.
Indeed it has.
After the Civil War, slavery was legally abolished, but freedom came without protection. Black Americans faced Jim Crow segregation, voter suppression, racial terror and lynchings, economic exclusion. In most of the United States, black people were barred from white neighborhoods, white banks, white hospitals, and white schools. So they did the only thing they could do. They built their own. Across America, segregated black communities formed not by choice, but by necessity. One of the most successful of all would rise in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa was booming. Oil discoveries in Oklahoma turned the city into one of the fastest growing economies in the country. Wealth was pouring in, but black Americans were largely excluded from it. O.W. Gurley, a black entrepreneur and landowner. In 1906, Gurley bought 40 acres of land north of the railroad tracks. His vision was radical for the time, a self-sufficient black community owned and controlled by black people. He sold land only to black residents and encouraged black businesses to settle there. The neighborhood became known as Greenwood.
Good morning. Fine day for business.
Certainly is. How's trade?
Greenwood wasn't poor. It wasn't struggling. It was thriving. By the 1910s and early 1920s, Greenwood had over 300 black-owned businesses, grocery stores, clothing shops, and restaurants.
That'll be £2 even. Hold still, sir. Almost done. Your meal, folks. Enjoy.
2 newspapers, a public library, churches and schools, hotels and boarding houses.
Good afternoon. We have a reservation. Welcome. Right on time.
A fine establishment.
Thank you.
Doctors' offices and law firms, a hospital, a movie theater. Many residents owned their homes outright. Some owned multiple properties. Money circulated within Greenwood up to 36 times before leaving the community. This is what modern economists now praise as community wealth circulation. Booker T. Washington visited Greenwood and famously called it Negro Wall Street. It became a national symbol of black economic success, and that success drew resentment. Tulsa, like much of America at the time, was deeply segregated. White residents controlled political power, law enforcement, and local media. The Ku Klux Klan had influence. Lynchings were common across the country. Greenwood's success challenged a dangerous idea that black people were inferior and incapable of self-governance. Jealousy grew, fear grew, hatred waited for a spark. That spark came in May 1921. On May 30, 1921, a young black shoe shiner named Dick Rowland entered an elevator in downtown Tulsa, operated by a white teenage girl named Sarah Page. Something happened in that elevator. No one knows exactly what. Sarah screamed. Rowland ran. The next day, newspapers printed sensational headlines accusing Rowland of assault claims that were never proven and later dropped. But in 1921, America, an accusation was enough. A white mob gathered outside the courthouse demanding Rowland be handed over. They wanted a lynching. Black residents of Greenwood understood the danger. They had seen lynchings before. They knew what mobs did. A group of armed black World War I veterans went to the courthouse to protect Rowland and prevent a lynching. Tensions exploded. A shot was fired. Chaos followed. That night, white mobsmen armed and deputized moved toward Greenwood. What followed was one of the worst acts of racial violence in U.S. history. Over the next 18 hours, homes were burned, businesses were looted and destroyed, entire blocks were reduced to ashes. Local authorities failed to protect Greenwood. Some actively participated in its destruction. By the end, more than 1,200 homes were destroyed. Over 35 city blocks were wiped out. Thousands of black residents were left homeless. Black Wall Street, built over decades, was gone. After the destruction, survivors expected justice. They received none. Insurance companies refused to pay claims. No white rioters were convicted. The city attempted to rezone Greenwood to prevent rebuilding. The massacre was removed from school textbooks. Local newspapers avoided the topic. Survivors were told not to speak about it. For decades, America pretended it never happened. But Greenwood did something remarkable.
All right, let's clear this out.
Pile the good wood over there.
Got
It
it.
rebuilt.
Beam is heavy.
Despite discrimination and lack of support, black residents returned, businesses reopened, homes were reconstructed. By the 1930s, Greenwood was again a functioning community, though it never fully recovered its original wealth. Later highways and urban renewal projects would further damage the area. Still, Greenwood survived. Black Wall Street wasn't destroyed because it failed. It was destroyed because it proved something powerful, that black Americans, when allowed to thrive, could build prosperity, stability, and generational wealth.
The lights are simply magical tonight.
Indeed. A fine evening for the theater.
Shall we?
This story matters because it challenges the lie that black communities never succeeded. They did. They were just not protected. And remembering Black Wall Street isn't about the past alone. It's about understanding what was possible, what was taken, and what can still be rebuilt. If you found this documentary informative, support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with others who value history that matters.